initially when this debate started,
Brings it up and says it is inaccurate, we just let it.
no intention of intervening or speaking in this debate.
Okay, you must give.
My colleague, the HRD Minister, Mrs. Smriti Irani, will reply to the debate at the end. But after hearing two very distinguished members of this House, Mr. Sitaram Yechury and the Leader of Opposition,
Find out.
I think this debate which has been taking place is somewhere missing or sidetracking the real issue. Should we have universities where there is openness, there is freedom, there is scope for academic excellence? Of course we must have that. Should we allow different ideas to clash and be created and further mature in universities? Of course we must do that. Can there ever be an argument in a democracy like ours that there must be only one ideology or one idea which must emerge? Obviously not. And therefore, let us set this debate at rest. That neither the National Democratic Alliance, nor the BJP, nor this government ever subscribes to this philosophy that only one idea must mature and grow in universities. We are entitled to be criticized. I have absolutely no difficulty with that. And if some student belonging to a weaker or deprived section of society suffers a mental distress, that issue has to be squarely addressed. And we can all speak in the same language because humanity demands that our concern must be the same. But the issue, and I regret to say that, which actually is the core issue, and that squarely relates not to the amount of academic license which is available in universities. It must be. We can be a little more gracious and allow some more scope for a debate. We also have in universities, youngsters do many things, and as they grow and mature, they realize that probably this was not the ideal behavior at that time, but that's a license a society allows. Some amount of radical romancing can also take place in academic institutions. But the core question is, and I regret to say that even Azad Saab has dealt with it only in one casual sentence. Are we going to give respectability to those whose primary ideology is that they want to break this country? After all, what has happened in the case of two persons alleged to be involved in terrorist actions and convicted by the highest court. You had the Bombay case, 12th March 1993. Our fairness of the system was that not only did the accused get a fair trial, he got at least several rounds of appeal, review, corrective petitions before the Supreme Court. He even got the facility of midnight hearings, which many of us would not have got. So the system went out of the way to accommodate a person against whom a grave charge was that he had blasted the city of Bombay and killed hundreds of people. Can anybody say that his martyrdom should be celebrated? Sir, let us be very clear about the kind of functions which were organized in Hyderabad and also in JNU. what was the function that was eventually, what was the program in the Jawaharlal University? So unless we address that issue, a circular is taken out, and two of our very distinguished members, Yachuri ji and Shri D.P. Tripathi, have been former presidents of the student unions. They are more familiar with that university than I am. It has thrown up many scholars, no doubt. It should evolve as an institution of excellence. Nobody wants to campaign against such a campus. A pamphlet is taken out, and I would like particularly the Congress. The Congress has a history of never having supported the fringe. You are a mainstream party. You have ruled this country more than any other political party. How was that meeting? And I am not getting into disputed tapes and all this. Here is a group of people who call for this cultural program on the 9th of February. The pamphlet and the poster is titled, "A Country Without a Post Office." No, at least our conscious, Sitaram, our conscious can react differently to this. कि इस देश की ये हालत कर दो कि इसका पता आता ना रहे, अता पता ना रहे, a country without a post office. और एक कंट्री विदाउट ए पोस्ट ऑफिस के जो पैम्फलेट निकलता है, और इसको कोई डिस्प्यूट नहीं कर रहा, ये दीवारों पे चिपकाया जाता है, अ कंट्री विदाउट अ पोस्ट ऑफिस. उसकी भाषा ये है कि जुडिशियल किलिंग ऑफ अफजल गुरु एंड मकबूल भट्ट, 6-6, 8-8 राउंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने मिले. Please allow me to complete. We didn't interrupt you, Sita, so let's be fair in the debate. Judicial killing. And I regret to say that I read a statement today by a very distinguished former colleague, actually adding respectability to this charge of judicial killing, that the judges decided wrongly to execute him. People belonging to mainstream don't make these such statements. A cultural evening to protest against what is the history of forcible occupation of Jammu Kashmir. The circular says this. We can censor the whole debate and then ignore the real facts and then say academic freedom is in peril. No academic freedom will ever be in peril in this country. Now, on this, a pamphlet is circulated justifying this. And that pamphlet, I regret, is more against the government which the UPA led, the Congress historically led. The kind of language which is used, Kashmir did not belong to Nehru, nor does it belong to Manmohan's and Modi's in recent times, who keep flaunting this inalienable crown to the whole world. They are consciously invisible as to how the occupation of territory has taken place through might and judicial and brutal force. Then it speaks about the right of self-determination. Then it speaks about today in Tihar jail, 2 graves lie in desolation, Maqbool Bhatt and Afzal Guru. This is the meeting of the 9th. When the university realizes that it can't be held,
No, let him complete. Raja, let him complete. Raja, let him complete. Don't interrupt.
Sir,
Let him complete.
I am conscious of a rule of procedure that when a case is pending in court, we don't argue because we may create a prejudice against the accused. And therefore, I do believe that every student, including those whose names are there, the names of the people they are here on this circular, each one of them, I don't want to prejudice their trial also by naming them. 2 of them have been arrested. Some others the police is looking for. And they all belong to an ultra-left philosophy. If you want evidence against the name you took out, I can give it, but it will unnecessarily prejudice his fair trial, which is not my intention. Notwithstanding the ban, this function is held. Some other people also come, बाहर से आते हैं नकाब पहनकर, और नकाब पहनकर जब आते हैं और एक अल्ट्रा लेफ्ट माओइस्ट और एक सेपरेटिस्ट, और ये कोई 10-20 फ्रिंज नहीं था, ये संख्या सैकड़ों में बन गई, और नारे क्या लगे? कश्मीर की आजादी तक, भारत की बर्बादी तक जंग चलेगी, जंग चलेगी, भारत के टुकड़े टुकड़े इंशाअल्लाह, इंशाअल्लाह. The pamphlets which they have circulated, which nobody is denying, just bear a complete evidence. What is the police supposed to do? Now, whether this person, Raja Sahab names, wrongly went there, his intention was different, that's all for investigation to come out. I'll keep his case out. Let us not, he's entitled to a fair trial. Of course, what happened in Patiala House is condemnable. But vandalism is condemnable, sedition is free speech. Nobody can subscribe to this ideology, and least of all should ever the Congress party subscribe to it. Of course, vandalism should be condemned. The accused are entitled to a fair trial. Nobody should hold demonstrations in court. But at the same time, what is the factual matrix? In one university, it is the alleged martyrdom of Yaqub Menon. In the other university, it is the martyrdom day of Afzal Guru. और यचूरी साहब, अफसल गुरु किस चीज का प्रतिनिधित्व करता था हम सब जानते हैं. वो मनुवाद और ब्राह्मणवाद और पूंजीवाद के खिलाफ संघर्ष का प्रतिनिधि नहीं था कि अफजल गुरु की शहादत के दिन हम मनुवाद और पूंजीवाद के खिलाफ नारे लगाएं. और इसलिए आप याकूब मेनन का कार्यक्रम करें और डॉक्टर अंबेडकर का फोटो लगा दें, उससे वो कोई माओवादी अंबेडकरवादी नहीं बन जाएगा. आप अगर अंबेडकर साहब के विचार इन विषयों पे जानना चाहते हैं तो लेट अस जस्ट सी व्हाट डॉक्टर अंबेडकर हैज टू से. उनके जितने भाषण हुए, शायद सबसे प्रभावी भाषण था जो 25 नवंबर 1949 को उन्होंने दिया. Each one of his interventions is in golden words. 26 तारीख को संविधान स्वीकार हुआ, 25 को जब पूरा संविधान तैयार हो गया था तो he moved the motion. Now we remember his speech only for, you quoted it, till political democracy becomes social democracy and economic equality, egalitarianism, he said that. But he said 2 other things in that speech also. Now, let me first of all concede, and I am not doing it only for this because we've all studied history. The Communist Party of 1949 and the Communist Party of 2016, there is a sea change of an evolution. In 1949, you were a part of the Telangana struggle. Things have evolved since then. But Dr. Ambedkar was speaking in 1949. So what he said in 49 about the communists, probably amongst the Maoists who take that attitude and amongst other radicals, that still holds good. तो इसलिए कोई अलगाववाद की बात करे और उनका नाम ले ले. And I quote Dr. Ambedkar. When he framed the Constitution and gave it, he said, the condemnation of the Constitution largely comes from 2 quarters, the Communist Party and the Socialist Party. This was in the 1949 context. Why do they condemn the Constitution? Is it because it is really a bad Constitution? I venture to say no. The Communist Party wants a Constitution based upon the principle of dictatorship of the proletariat. They condemn the Constitution because it is based upon parliamentary democracy. The socialists want two things. The first thing is that they want that if they come to power, the Constitution must give them the freedom to nationalize or socialize private property without payment of Constitution. The second thing is that they want the fundamental rights mentioned in the Constitution, and this is important, the fundamental rights mentioned in the Constitution to be absolute, without any limitation. So that if their party fails to come to power, they would have the unfettered freedom of not merely to criticize, but also to overthrow the state. These are their main grounds on which the Constitution is being condemned. Now, what are, let's forget 1949. I know for a fact that the CPM today, the CPI today, as mainstream communist parties are very much a part of the parliamentary democracy as we are. I'm not addressing them. But now if from 1949 you translate what Dr. Ambedkar said about the Maoists, they want an absolute right of free speech, not reasonable restrictions, so that they can use the Constitution in order to overthrow the parliamentary system because they don't believe in it. And that is precisely the reason that this misconceived argument has arisen. Let us concentrate on vandalism, which is terrible, but at the same time, in the name of academic freedom, sedition must become a part of free speech. Can hate speech ever be free speech? Obviously, it can't be. Can you have free speech to say, I have a right to break this country into pieces? भारत के टुकड़े टुकड़े, और जब तक टुकड़े टुकड़े नहीं होगी, जंग होगी. अब आप संविधान को देखिए जो डॉक्टर अंबेडकर ने बनाया. In the Constitution itself, when he says in 19(1)(a) freedom of expression, what does he say as a restriction in 19(2)? Sovereignty of India, integrity of India, public order. These are a part of the reasonable restrictions which Pandit Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Babu, Dr. Ambedkar, they all put into the Constitution. And therefore, if in a prime campuses, all right, let's forget the controversy of the state. Nobody has denied that program that in Jadavpur University, they weren't saying Brahmanwad se azadi, Manipur mange azadi, Kashmir mange azadi, Mizoram mange azadi, Gilani mange azadi, Afzal Guru mange azadi. The question is, does the Indian constitutional order allow this or not? And now to say that this kind of an act must go and be ignored by the state. Yes, Azad Sahab, if there is a fear of war with its own self, it's a war on the territory of India. Let us forget the idea of India, it's the geography and the territory of India which is being attacked today. Who lives if India doesn't survive? And therefore, it is the territory of India. And if you go back to Dr. Ambedkar's speech, और मैं चाहूँगा, बहन जी आप निश्चित रूप से इसको एक बार पढ़ लीजिए. उसी भाषण में डॉक्टर अंबेडकर कहते हैं कि आज में जो लोकतंत्र दे रहे हैं हम लोग, और इस देश को खतरा किससे है? उनका इस देश का इतिहास है कि इस देश के इतिहास में भीतरी ताकतें इस देश को तोड़ने का प्रयास करती हैं। जयचंद ने कैसे तोड़ने का प्रयास किया? जब शिवाजी लड़ाई लड़ रहे थे तो कैसे कुछ मराठा मुगलों के साथ चले गए। जब सिख लोग लड़ाई लड़ रहे थे तो कैसे गुलाब सिंह दूसरी तरफ चले गए और फिर वो मिलकर, these are all a part of his 25th November 1949 speech, that how these people, and therefore India will be at war with itself, in the words of Ghulam Nabi Sahib, if these people. Sir, I remember sitting in the same chair as you for 5 years. In Chhattisgarh, the Maoists came and killed 73 CRPF Jawans. And everybody said, Mr. Chidambaram was the Home Minister should resign. And if you look up the record, I spoke from the same chair and said, why Mr. Chidambaram should not resign. Because the moment he resigns, he gives Maoists a sense of victory. That was my speech sitting there. And therefore, कम से कम इस इशू पे तो आप हमारे साथ होते। मुझे खेद है।
मैंने 9th को जो घटना हुई, मैंने अपनी तरफ से, अपनी पार्टी की तरफ से, पूरी अपोजिशन की तरफ से, उसमें सरकार आपके साथ है। मैंने उससे पहले भी गृह मंत्री जी को बताया, जो एक्शन, सुनिए, पूरी साथ है, उसमें कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। 2 चीजें हमने बताई हैं कि लेकिन जो सेडिशन चार्ज है उन्हीं पर लगना चाहिए जिन्होंने गलत काम किया है, न कि किसी गलत आदमी को फिक्स करने का यहां का वीडियो उठा के दूसरा। और तीसरा जो मैंने कह बताया है कि जैसे कंट्री वॉर अगेंस्ट वॉर इट्सेल्फ, वो मैंने इस संदर्भ में नहीं कहा। मैंने कहा जो हमारे साथी आप देश को कहते हैं कि आप नेशनलिस्ट हो, कौन नेशनलिस्ट है, हम नेशनलिस्ट हैं, या आप ये एंटी नेशनल और नेशनल के वक्त में पार्टियों को मत बनाओ। उसकी तो मैंने प्याज की मिसाल दी, हम सब पहले से नेशनलिस्ट हैं। तो इसलिए नेशनलिस्ट कौन है और कौन एंटी नेशनलिस्ट है, अगर उस पे आप विवाद करोगे तो एक आप कंट्री आपस में ही लड़ रही है। उस संदर्भ में मैंने कहा
मुझे कम से कम इस बात का कोई संदेह नहीं है कि इस सदन में बैठे हुए जितने सदस्य हैं, जिन पार्टियों का प्रतिनिधित्व करते हैं, वो इस देश की राष्ट्र की मुख्य धारा के साथ हैं। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य ये है कि कुछ लोग पहले सोचते हैं और फिर कदम उठाते हैं। ये एक ऐसी वारदात थी कि आपकी पार्टी ने पहले कदम उठा लिया और सोचा बाद में। इसलिए कि ये जो पश्चिम बंगाल के चुनाव की से पूर्व दोस्ती का प्रयास है, अरे आप सर, I have this. Let me answer this question of PDP also.
Please.
The Congress has believed this, and I believe this too. That if we are to fight the separatist forces in Jammu and Kashmir, the national parties will have to work with the mainstream parties of Jammu and Kashmir, whether it is National Conference or the PDP. The Congress and National Conference has worked with us, they have worked with you. अगर हम ये कहते हैं कि नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस और पीडीपी को अलग रख दो, और इसलिए अगर पीडीपी के साथ आज हम हैं, या आप पहले नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के साथ थे, या पहले नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हमारे साथ थी, उसमें बिल्कुल स्पष्ट है कि कश्मीर की मेनस्ट्रीम पार्टीज के साथ नेशनल पार्टीज को काम करना पड़ेगा, हमारे वैचारिक मतभेद होते हुए भी, क्योंकि हमें अलगाववादियों से लड़ना है। इसलिए ये पीडीपी के विषय पर कोई हम अपोलोजेटिक होंगे, ये एक समझौता है और इस देश के राष्ट्र हित के अंदर समझौता है, जो कि क्षेत्रीय पार्टियों के साथ आपने भी किया, हमने भी किया। लेकिन कम से कम बिना सोचे हुए उन माओवादी और उन नकाबपोशियों के जो भारत के तोड़ने के नारे लगा रहे थे, उनको रिस्पेक्टेबिलिटी देने आप पहुंच गए। क्या पुलिस वहां मेनस्ट्रीम के खिलाफ थी? व्हाट डज द पुलिस डू कि इफ इन द हार्ट ऑफ दिल्ली slogans are raised about breaking India, the police should remain a mute spectator. ये जो मिसकंसीव्ड विचार आया कि पुलिस को कैंपस में जाना नहीं चाहिए, ऑफ कोर्स नॉर्मली पुलिस अवॉइड्स गोइंग इनटू द कैंपस। Not allowed? Is it a sovereign territory like for foreign mission? Absolutely. If there is a murder in a campus, the police.
Saying that, Mr. Jaitley. They're saying the university authorities burn it. That's what they enter.
All right. Now let me read. Let me read a 1983. Let me read two statements, or I'll read one. Let me read two statements. Congress was in power, 1983. Mrs. Gandhi, Mrs. Indira ji was the Prime Minister. Question number 2055, 1983 का है. Whether it is a fact on 11th May 1983, the police entered the JNU campus without permission of the Vice Chancellor and the students were mercilessly beaten up. Answer by the then Education Minister. The Vice Chancellor and two senior functionaries of the university were held in illegal confinement for 50 hours at the residence of the Vice Chancellor by a section of students. On basis of the complaint registered with the police station, the police entered the campus. As the Vice Chancellor was under illegal confinement, there was no opportunity to even obtain his permission, if any, required to enter the campus. The students resisted the entry. However, no student was beaten up. 370 students, including 50 girls, were arrested for keeping him under illegal confinement.
So what was the charge? Anti-national? Sedition?
I think if you, so after I speak, you please answer.
Yeah.
Yes. After I finish,
Yes.
you please answer.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Okay.
the charge was illegal confinement because there was no Bharat Ko Todo slogans. It is much worse. If for illegal confinement you can enter the JNU, just because there is West Bengal election round the corner doesn't mean that the Congress party will now take a stand that you should never enter a campus even if slogans to break this country are being raised there. A university campus is not a sovereign territory that took, obviously, I think the Jawaharlal Nehru University is an integral part of India. And therefore, Indian law applies. And therefore, if the penal code is being violated, the police has a right to enter. The tragedy of 9th February is not only that these slogans were raised, the tragedy also is that how can national parties say these arrests are bad, police should not have entered? You are indirectly or directly adding respectability to a movement which was a charter to break this country into pieces. I think
am requesting the leader of the house to yield, if I may. If I may, sir. Sir, I think this debate is a very important debate. The purpose of this debate is not to deepen the fissures and question each other's intent, wisdom, or nationalism or patriotism. That we both agree. Now the point here is, let's not manufacture and distort in the process what happened on 9th and the protest on the 12th, organized by the JNU University Teachers Association. I went there. So did the Congress Vice President. So did Sitaram Yechuri. So did Rajya. Are we mainstream parties or not? We went on the invitation, written invite of the Teachers Association. Was the JNU faculty responsible for what happened on 9th? Were they raising slogans of sedition? Do we have a right when you say JNU campus is a part of India, Arunji, do we have a right as mainstream political parties to accept the invitation, or do we have to apply for permission when as political leaders? Please, I think the line has to be drawn. We did not go with any other intent.
Don't heckle me.
Please.
I have absolutely no doubt that Shri Anand Sharma, with all his best intentions and his leader, have every right to go there. I have no doubt. I have no doubt that you would condemn even more strongly these slogans than I have condemned. I have absolutely no doubt. My only problem is that you must realize that this issue is not that some course is being tinkered with, some politicization is taking place, that you have a situation where slogans against the integrity of India, against the sovereignty of India are being raised. And let us be very clear, Section 124A, we did not enact it, of the IPC says, whoever by words spoken or visible representation or any action, words spoken are enough.
Incite violence. Incite violence, put it in full.
The most celebrated case in post-independence India, there is only one constitution bench. 1962, and everybody cites that because that is where you get this principle from. I'll hand over to my friend a copy for bedtime reading. I was going through the slogans which were raised and the speech which was made. This was Pandit Nehru's government which brought the charge. The trial court convicted the man, the High Court convicted it, the Supreme Court upheld the conviction. There was not a single slogan to break the country. The speech was, it was by a communist leader from Begusarai. Begusarai is an old stronghold of Mr. Raja's party, so he's smiling. The speeches were, today these Congress gundas are sitting on the gaddi due to the mistake of people. When we drove the Britishers, we shall strike to turn out these gundas as well. These official dogs will be liquidated along with the Congress gundas. These Congress gundas are banking upon the American dollars and imposing various kinds of taxes on the people. This is the speech. Azad sahab, मैं आप भी कॉपी 1962 की, पंडित जी तब प्रधानमंत्री थे, हम तब बहुत छोटी पार्टी थे, आपने 124A लगाया, सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक 5 जजों की खंडपीठ ने इसको अपहोल्ड कर लिया, जिसमें ये कहा जो इसका जैसे लीगल सिद्धांत का आप जिक्र कर रहे हैं. The entire speech is by a leftist leader against the Congress party. The Supreme Court judgment, I'm reading the judgment, it quotes it. The tragedy of Bengal is that now there are 3 Congress parties in Bengal. There is the Congress party, there is the Trinamool Congress, and there is the Congress Marxist.
No, sir. JNU, sir, in 1998, the Trinamool Congress left the Congress and we are not the Congress party. Please let me make that very clear. Don't distort history, sir. One woman in 1998, 1st of January, left the Congress party and set up the Trinamool Congress, sir. What history, sir? After
And
that,
therefore-
what happened, sir, leader of the house. 16 years, sir.
So there is a, sir,
Don't spoil a nice Thursday afternoon for us, sir.
so I yield to Mr. Derek O'Brien. There is a Congress, there is a Trinamool Congress, and there is the third one. To come back to a more serious point, sir, I would only urge this. The accused have been arrested, some of them. The investigations are on. The Home Minister has yesterday said the police will be more than fair. Please don't, by getting into these side lanes, camouflage this great offense which has taken place. It's a very serious offense. These tendencies by which these ultras of diverse ideologies, one is the jihadist, the other is the Maoist. It's an alliance of them. हम तो नए सत्ता में आए हैं, आप बहुत पुराने अनुभवी हैं, और इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूं, पहले सोच लेते जेएनयू जाने से पूर्व, और ये सारे तथ्यों की गंभीरता को समझ लेते तो शायद वहां जाने की आप नौबत ना आती। और आपको स्पष्ट आजाद साहब स्टैंड लेना पड़ेगा। ये नहीं कि मैं हिंसा के खिलाफ हूं और उन नारों के खिलाफ हूं। आपकी राजनीति की दिशा कहीं ना कहीं दिखलाती है कि वो बहुत छोटा विषय था, बड़ा गंभीर विषय एचआरडी मिनिस्ट्री बन गई। ये वास्तविक स्थिति नहीं है। हमारे सहयोगी जब जवाब देंगी तो आपको उसके तथ्य भी सामने आएंगे। आपने ठीक कहा कि आपकी पार्टी के 2 महान नेता, एक प्रधानमंत्री, एक उस वक्त पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री थे, आतंक के सामने उनकी कुर्बानी हुई है। You should be more vigorous in speaking against terror than we are. And we should speak in the same language. And therefore, people who are speaking in terms of using jung to break the country, please don't do anything which adds respectability to their movement. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
सर, अरे छोड़िए यार, हमारा नाम दिया गया। अरे हमारा नाम दिया गया, हमारा नाम दिया गया, बोले।
Next is,
बैठिए।
yes,
सर,
no, listen, yes,
Sir.
no, it is, I will tell you. Now, Nareshi, next is your party. Next is your party only because his name is taken. He has a right to explain, that's all. That you take only 2-3 minutes and explain.
सर,
No, his name is taken. Oh, that is accepted.
Sir,
Because his name is taken, he can do that. He can do that.
no,
It is right.
It has been granted. No,
It
I'm
is
sorry.
right.
I'm sorry,
There
you
is-
can do that.
It is right. No, because he said,
No,
no.
I'm not. Because my, Mr.
Because
Shukendo,
No.
Mr. Shukendo, my name was taken.
Because his name taken, it was.
Answering.
At that time, you did not question. At that time, you did not question.
No, I'm
Why do you
sorry.
question now?
No,
At that time, you did not.
sir, my name
Yes,
was taken.
you
I'm
can say.
answering. And I'm saying I'm going
Only
behind-
that point you explain, that's
I'm
all.
going beyond the flippancy of trying to make
No,
electoral
only
interest.
that point you say,
If
nothing
you're
more.
talking of Marxist Congress, you're talking of Marxist Congress.
No,
don't
I
try to
know
make
what
an
I am
alliance with
doing.
them now.
No,
If you're
you
talking of that kind of
understand-
an alliance. My point, sir, is very simple.
You please
We have
understand.
said, Nobody has fought against the ultra-left like we have done. Nobody has tried to persuade them to come into the mainstream like we have done. Please accept that. If you want us to accept many of the things that you have said. So please accept that as well. We have done it, I have said
Okay.
it, we have done it. No, not okay, 1 minute. Now he is here.
Only explanation, personal.
Please, sir, he is here talked about the breaking up of the country. Now he is taken up the issues, saying,
Please.
why are we
Don't be
supporting-
angry.
No,
Don't be angry.
Sir, why are we supporting
What
that?
are you doing?
Sir,
What are you
sir,
doing? No, please, 1 minute, 1 minute. Listen. Can you sit down? Can you sit down? No, listen, you must understand. Listen. If a member's name is taken, he has a right to explain that. He tried at that time, then it was said after this. So now, I also agreed, he has a right to explain. If your name is taken, you are right. I am allowing that, you sit down. No, nothing will go on record, you sit down. No, he named and he said, everybody heard.
Sir, he has named me. As far
Not taken the name?
yeah,
No, that is what, okay.
Arre, he has taken the name, he
No,
knows.
all right.
As far as the ultra left, that is not
No,
in the mainstream.
HOD.
Please, sir, because he's taken my name and he's addressed this issue. The issue here.
No, that is disputed now.
No, why
They
is it
say your
disputed?
name
It's
is
on
not
the
taken.
record. He has also said it. He has also said it. He's also said it. He's taken the name.
Okay, bolo.
Sir, the question of breaking up the country, nobody can be for. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Point is, don't give us lectures on that. We have fought. We continue to fight. We know who's allied with them when, and you know how they've allied. That's not the issue.
Okay,
The
that's
issue
all.
right now.
Okay,
the
that's
issue,
all.
No, sir, please.
Only personal
The
explanation.
issue
No.
right now, if there is an organization, what was their intelligence system doing?
No.
Why was
Okay,
it
now-
allowed to function?
That's all.
If you're bad, you're
That's
bad
enough.
with me. No,
Now-
sir, I want to say this. I want to say this. If I don't support
I know,
them, sir, please.
I can give you
No,
time after all.
No, if I don't support them, you say I should go to Pakistan.
No.
Either you are a Ram
Okay.
Dada or a Haram
You
Dada.
initiated it.
That is not a slogan.
HOD
Is that not a slogan?
ji, you initiated it. If you want, in the end I will tell you. Now it is SP's.
You can say all that. And
Now it
whatever
is SP's time. Okay.
No,
You
that
explained
I
it.
take a very serious
You gave the personal explanation. That is enough.
No, sir. I want this to be recorded.
No.
I am giving a political explanation.
No, not now. No political explanation now. Only personal explanation now. Political explanation later.
When later?
No, let the discussion be over at that time. If you want, I will allow. No, that's
After the
okay.
end of the discussion.
See,
Okay.
you initiated. If
But
you want
I'm
to.
telling you this
No,
part
not now.
of going with
Now
the
only
breaking up
personal
of the
explanation.
country, that is a very
No, sit
wrong
down.
charge.
Now,
And
Javed
I
Ali
think-
Khan.
and
Javed
if you
Ali
have
Khan.
the same
Who is
spirit,
Javed Ali Khan?
Raise your voice again.
HOD, sit down.
Say,
HOD,
we don't
sit
support
down.
you, Go to Pakistan.
No political.
Raise your
HOD.
voice.
No. Only personal.
हरामजादे रहेंगे या हरामजादे?
HOD ji, बैठिए.
Raise your voice.
HOD ji,
You don't
बैठिए.
raise your voice. And that is
Mr.
the point.
HOD ji, please.
You don't raise
Please
your voice
resume
there.
your seat. Only personal explanation is possible if the name is taken. Because your name is taken, I was told I allowed you personal explanation. That's all. Now, Sri Javed Ali Khan.
माननीय उपसभापति जी, आज सदन में मैं दूसरी बार बोलने के लिए खड़ा हुआ हूं। पहला भाषण जब मैंने किया था तो अपने